So the next one, Beverly Hills movie that I wanted to talk about that was big for me and probably small for you. Um,
Not almost non-existent,
almost
except
non-existent.
except I really remember one feature which I'm sure we'll get into soon. But you go ahead.
Okay, was Troop Beverly Hills.
Shelley Long.
All the ladies in the house say, yeah. I mean, this movie for a little girl is everything. I mean, not only did I want to be all the wilderness girls in the movie, because their families lived in Beverly Hills and they were all so pretty and had the best clothes and were so cool. But then Shelley Long, like I also wanted to be a full woman. I mean, it was just incredible. And what was also really cool for me was this is a movie that I don't remember seeing in the theaters. It came out
Mm.
in 89. What I remember seeing it on, and I don't know if people had a similar experience to this, where your local television stations, we had channel 41 and 62, which were kind of the channels that would like play all the rerun TV shows during the
U-
day.
UHF. It was
Yeah.
UHF.
Yep.
Yes.
UHF.
VHF, and UHF, and these were the ones at the very end of like the turn,
Yes.
the
So,
dial.
yep. So during the week, they would just all day long play reruns of TV shows. And then Saturdays and Sundays, it was just blocks of movies all day long. And Channel 41 and Channel 62 were ours. And I saw Troop Beverly Hills at Mamo and Bampo's, our grandparents, just in bits and pieces. It was like I happened to turn on the TV and there would be the like Girl Scout cookies scene where they're singing and selling cookies. And then I would watch the rest of the movie, and then maybe like 2 weekends later, I would turn it on again and I would see the scene where they get rained out of the campsite and they go to the Beverly Hills Hotel and she's in that amazing like negligee nightgown and like for sleeves. And so it was just one of those movies where you like piecemeal it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Am I
yeah,
making sense?
absolutely. 100%, 100%, because this was clearly a movie that the studio put out, and then they said, okay, we got to make our money back somehow. So let's get this thing out there. Right. And like
Yes.
these channel 62s, these channel 41s, they picked it up. They would run it endlessly. Like there were a lot of movies like that on HBO too, which was,
Yep.
they were constantly like, The Last Dragon was on HBO a lot. Right. So like,
Yep.
that would be one that you'd always see. But you were telling me specifically about the uh the the scene where the girls have to go to the Beverly Hills Hotel
Yes. Yeah. And
is what
that
inspired this movie.
yes, the movie is based on a real producer in Hollywood whose wife, this Beverly Hills wife, who decided, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take over my daughter's Girl Scout troop. And they went camping and it rained on the girls. And this woman was like, we're not having this. And booked a room at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And then I think the Girl Scout other troop leaders were like, that's unacceptable. That's not what Girl Scouts do. We like rough it. And I think she was telling this story.
Not my girls.
Yeah. Out at a dinner with her husband and, directors and writers, I'm sure just industry people, and smart industry people were like, dude, you're a producer. Like, make a movie of your wife's Beverly Hills Girl Scout troop stories. And he did. And for me, it's like I just a quintessential like dreamy movie of that time and being a little girl. The fashion in it, I mean, Shelley Long has 36 different costumes that all rule so hard. They're beautiful. Her wardrobe is incredible to the point where, like, if I ever got to go to the Met Gala, I want to wear something that's inspired by a Shelley Long Troop Beverly Hills costume. I mean, I can't get them out of my head. She's the most glamorous woman in the world in that movie.
Well, I think, and we'll probably put it in the show notes, but Jezebel did an article where there was 36 or 37 different outfits that Shelley Long wore in True Beverly Hills. And I would say that like this was first a movie about you know, the gals, right? Like, coming together, figuring out a way to get things done, right?
Mhm.
Teamwork, right?
Yeah.
But then also fashion. This was the movie for little girls when it came to fashion because and Shelley Long was like the conduit for a lot of little girls' obsession with fashion and grown women now because you
Oh,
are very obsessed with fashion.
yeah. I like I was saying, it's like if I get to go ever would get to go to the Met Gala, I want to dress like Shelley Long in True Beverly Hills. I don't know like what I'm wearing right now. We were talking about Beverly Hills tonight. I'm like, okay, I got to pull out my
Got to pull.
fake leopard. Um yes, that movie was just uh I keep using the word, but everything.
Yeah,
Truly.
it was.
And it was cool to see. Also, you never saw like Beverly Hills people as underdogs in movies usually. Like they were powerful. So it was kind of cool to see how these Beverly Hills rich girls had to figure out how to fit into more of a middle class, like situation, wilderness girls.
The
And all,
Wilderness
but
Girls,
also,
right? The
yeah,
Wilderness Girls, not because they weren't actually Girl Scouts.
no.
They couldn't get the clearance to be Girl Scouts, so
And
they were
also,
Wilderness Girls.
even Girl Scouts, like for me and how Justin and I grew up, like Girl Scouts, even the buy-in for Girl Scouts was just like too expensive. You know, there were like Girl Scouts and brownies. And I remember asking mom about it once, and it was just like, yeah, we can't afford it. So the fact that like Girl Scouts basically and Beverly Hills were in one movie, I was just like, that is the mecca of rich, which when you're little is like a big deal. If you're not, you're like, oh my God, they're rich.